All right, I think we are up and running. Good morning, good morning. Mic off. Testing 1, 2, 3. It's on at my end. I'm seeing a green. Yep, I think we're okay. Don't scare me. Oh, the fans are running like crazy. What's going on? Seems okay. The fans are burning. Okay, let's go. Quiet morning here. I think it's Monday morning. Is it plugged in? Yes, we're plugged in. Yeah, good to go. Okay, paper is not out. Paper is not out. Okay, you know where I'm going. 1 minute, I'll be back in a second as soon as I can. Sorry. Back in a minute. I was working with the scripts on a contest this morning. I forgot. Back in a sec. Yosha. Now the paper is out. No, I got it by myself. Thank you. Probably according to the motion of the planet, it might not be my birthday yet. It is here in Japan, but it's not November 11th in Britain yet, is it? Where I was born. So it's probably technically, physically not my birthday yet. But that's the way we play the game. Thank you, guys. '68. Born in 51. Yeah, 68 this time round. 68. Still counting. How many more left? Whatever. Well, the reason I didn't get the paper out, when I got up this morning, got a shower, cup of coffee. 56 minutes to my birthday. If you're going to count it as Yorkshire time, yeah, fair enough, I guess. This morning, had a shower, checked, got a cup of coffee, checked the voting things on the caption contest, because it closes this morning. Cameron and I are going to close it down this morning. It's November 11th, and probably somewhere around noon our time, we'll post the names and stuff of what's going to go on if people get the prizes. But this, can't watch both here. Don't look a day over 67. Yeah, thank you very much. Is my mother here? She sent me a card, the other day. We opened it here on the street. My mother remembers my birthday. I don't always remember hers. Anyway, when I had a look at the emails this morning, I found a bunch of alerts in my mailbox. Alerts that were sent to me from the scripts I wrote to handle voting for the contest. And during the night, it found a couple of, what's the word here? How can I be polite about this? Irregular voting patterns. So I had to look at that and figure out what was going on. And yeah, it seems there are a few people who have unfortunately tried to actually game this. And can't be helped. I didn't really think there would be too much of that, and there hasn't been an awful lot of it. But there's a couple of things that show up in the voting patterns that are not things we want to be part of the contest here. So before Cameron and I do the final tally here around noon, we will be deleting a bunch of votes which were not entered in the spirit of this thing. Not too many, just a few. A few people. How are things going on over here? It's not so cold this morning. It's about the kind of season that I like the best, you know. I don't like the sweaty times. It's a little bit chilly. Just this will take care of it. Zoom in. Sorry, I forgot. Yeah, okay. Height, paper out, zoom in. Sorry about that. Yeah, testing programming skills, you know. It's not so much programming skills, it's what you expect people to do. It's you know, thinking about how they might game these systems, you know. And as I said, most people have just played the game properly, but there's been a couple of things. Well, part of it is a mistake I made. I know, you know, we set this up, enter a username and password and go ahead and do the contest. And what I did was, you know, sometimes you've probably found when you're out in the net, they ask you to enter a username and a password, and sometimes it's really strict, you know. Your password must be 8 characters, not 6, not 7, it must have uppercase, lowercase, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't do this. At the server side of this, I do the normal common sense checking. People can't make up the username of, you know, drop tables, etc., etc., etc. We do the normal sensible checking of data that's coming in. But over and above that, I didn't force people into a specific format. And one mistake I made, and this was a mistake, I didn't filter out spaces in the username. I let people enter a username that had spaces. I like that myself. Sometimes put probably David space Bull as a username. Sometimes. You know. Anyway, I didn't filter that out, and it turned out to be a problem. Over on the part where people are doing their ranking, when they're clicking on a caption to like it, of course my script has to know who is doing the button pressing and which caption they're liking. So it's got to check the cookies and stuff that are stored inside your browser. Because of course when you log in, there's a cookie in there letting the browser know, you know, who you are. But it turns out, and this is new to me, it turns out that when a server script checks your cookie status, and when the JavaScript on your browser checks the cookie status, they read it in different ways. And on one of those methods, the space is preserved as a space, and in one of those methods, it's not. Like when you put the space in a URL for something, it's changed to a, you know, the %20 symbol. And I wasn't remembering this. So when a person who had a space in their username, when they clicked on a caption to like it, it thought one of them was David space Bull, and the other one was David %20 vote. So it didn't recognize you and it didn't allow you to vote. I didn't realize this until 3 or 4 people said, Dave, there's something wrong with your system. It's not letting me vote for some reason. I put 2 and 2 together, found this out, and then adjusted. But what to do? I couldn't ask these people to start all over again and log in and create another username. So I told them, here's what I'll do. I'll change your username in our system. I'll change it from David space Bull to David _ Bull. Same password. So you just go ahead, log in again, and that will take care of the problem. And it did. Those people, about 12 of them, were able to then log in and start voting. But what I didn't think would happen, and did happen, is that those people realize now they have 2 usernames. They put the captions in with their old username, David space Bull, and now they are voting the different username, David _ Bull. So this allowed them to vote on their own captions. And 2 people did. They took advantage of this and went through and clicked all their own captions, which is kind of not in the spirit of the game. So no problem, I get my shotgun out and took care of those clicks. But over and all, there's been very little attempts to manipulate this. The can is gone from the colon. Yes, of course we cleaned it out yesterday. Of course. The thing about the voting and stuff in this caption contest, even though I said I pulled out some irregular votes, and there's people clearly they've been voting for their friends in voting patterns and stuff like this. Mr. A, for example, Mr. A, with 20 votes to use, has voted 4 times each for all 5 captions entered by Mr. B. Coincidence. How did he know they were all the captions for Mr. B? Because usernames don't show in there. And Mr. B, with 20 votes to use, votes 4 times each for all the captions of Mr. A. So I'm like, my script is looking at this and saying, okay guys, this is not how we want to play the game. So of course those captions are deleted too, those votes are deleted too. But having said that, it really hasn't made a difference. Even if I hadn't deleted the ones that we've detected as being irregular votes, it wouldn't have made any difference, because the ones that have bubbled to the top are ones that have been voted on by all different people, all manner. They get their votes one at a time, instead of in batches and in irregular patterns. So even if we hadn't tried to protect the system against this, it seems that probably the results would probably pretty much exactly the same. So comparing the database after we delete these irregular votes and before we delete the irregular votes, there's really not much difference in the results. And in 3 of the categories, there is a clear runaway winner, gathering way more votes than anybody else. In two of the categories, it's closer. And in fact, I haven't closed it down yet, so it's still up for grabs in two of the categories. Not quite sure which one will top up yet. So got the time switch. It's helped Europeans, but it's not so good for people at the other end of the day. So. No, you said the votes were not the ultimate deciding factor. I put that on the page, meaning that allowed me the flexibility. If I detect unusual voting pattern, we will override that stuff. That's what I meant when I said that. But normal votes, normal organic votes that have gone from the community, that will be the deciding factor. I've kept my God finger on there, and I'm going to pull out stuff that is not organic voting. So when I said the votes are not the ultimate deciding factor, that's what I meant. But other than that, we're going to leave them. The community will decide which are the best ones there. This is not going to be Dave's picking out his 5 friends and stuff like this. So the community is going to decide these things. So. The cats. This is the first one of the cats. It is indeed. And the second one of the cats is going to have to be decided sometime later this week. The second one is going to be Evening Rain. And I got myself into this. There are 2 very, very strong contenders for that one, Evening Rain. In fact, they're on the update page. And if you go to the cat's website, the nekohakkei.com, if you look at the updates page, you will see, scrolling down through the updates, there are 2 very strong contenders for Evening Rain. We're going to need to start carving that soon. I'm carving number 1 now. This is Evening Snow. It's Night Rain. I'm sorry. I'm carving Evening Snow. And the second one will be Night Rain. And Johnstown is going to start carving that probably next weekend. So we're going to be overlapping these. We're not, finishing one, then starting another, because there's 2 of us will be carving it. So I have to decide Night Rain sometime this week. And as I said, there are 2 really, really strong contenders. So this is the downside of this cat thing that I've done. By agreeing to have more than one person go through to stage 2, we are inevitably going to have to be disappointing somebody. And I knew that's the way it would happen, but here I am with my finger on the button, and I've got to actually do this now. I've got to choose one to go through, and the other one's going to have to say, sorry, it was nice having you here, but I don't have the resources to make this print. And although this is not a contest, I'd be curious, if you go to the Neko Hakkei updates page and have a look at those, I'd be interested in hearing the feedback, actually, on what you think about those 2 designs. Because sometime later this week, I have to decide between the 2. I read both of them. I want to make both of them. They have very different challenges, very different appearance. We were chatting about that a while ago, a few weeks ago with Cameron here. We were looking at these images, and some of them are really good. And Dave, what are you going to do? You can't make both of them. I said, well, what we'll do, we'll get to the end, we'll do all 8. Then maybe we'll just start back at the beginning again, make another set or something. I don't know. One is the kitty with the bonsai. The other one is the rain. It's this night rain. So there's one in there with blasts of dark rain running across and a cat with a street lamp. And the other one is the bonsai. These are both the night rain. And I like both of them. I know the colors on the bonsai one, it's just somebody's Photoshop. It's Jonathan's Photoshop colors. That's not what it would look like. So try and look beyond it to think about what it would look like as a woodblock print. The one with the under the street lamp would look pretty much like that when we were done, because that's the, there's not much woodblockiness in there. But yeah, I have to go with one of those two. They're both really, really interesting. I got myself into this. I'm going to have to write an email to somebody saying, I'm sorry, you've had your payment for stage 2, but that's going to be it. I can't make your print at the moment. And I'm not looking forward to that, but whatever. It reminds me of when I was working for the music store back in Canada. I was the manager there, the general manager for the last 5 years. I was a packing clerk at the beginning, but by the end of it, I was the general manager. And the real downside of being the general manager of a shop like this is the hiring and firing. Hiring is, it's not easy, but hiring is easier because you're giving people good news. And asking people to leave is really, really difficult. And then in the hiring process, the same thing as what we've got with this cats contest. You take your applications, then you choose a bunch of people for a short list. You interview them, you talk to 5 or 10 people or something. On any given morning, you interview them one at a time, and then say, okay, people, I'll think about this, I'll call you back tomorrow. And then I've got to make 9 phone calls, 10 phone calls, 1 phone call saying, hi, you got the job, start tomorrow. And then I've got to make 9 phone calls to people who are waiting to hear whether I hired them or not. And my God, that was an awful, awful, awful part of the job, It has to be done, and that's this is now putting me in the same situation. I've got to tell some of these people, thank you for interviewing with us, but I can't make your woodblock print, And I think if I had thought forward far enough that this was going to happen, I probably wouldn't have started this Neko series, because it's too painful to disappoint people. Whatever, I think they understand, hopefully. At least we did pay a reasonable amount for some time and trouble. Yeah, the street lamp one is different. There's no question about it. It's very far removed from ukiyo-e. It's quite different, which is sort of the reason I wanted it. We want to do interesting work. We want to do something interesting. We're not beholden to make them all look like classical Japanese ukiyo-e prints. We're working in a Japanese woodblock style, but let's stretch it. Technically, the streetlight one would be much, much, much more difficult. So if the printers upstairs were making the decision here, it would be a no-brainer for them. They would choose the bonsai, because it's pretty much straightforward. We know how to make that. We know what to do. The streetlight one, some of the rain is easily chopped out, some is not. you've got a place where you have the white lines from rain running right through many different color blocks. It'll cross a green and a black and a brown and whatever. And if we do that in the classical way, by creating white, by cutting out spaces, then all those color blocks have to be aligned microscopically exactly. Otherwise the rain line won't be a single straight line. If we did the rain the optional way by putting white opaque pigment on top, then it doesn't matter. You can slap it on anywhere you want. But I would like to do it by cutting out. That gives the white, bright paper, you know. But the printers will go ape shit if I do that. So that might be a factor in my decision, the technical complexity of the two prints. But the bonsai one as well is another complex factor there, which doesn't really show in the design that you see on that page. The water spray, how to do the water spray. And it's the same thing. It's how to do transparency and white without using opaque pigments. And if you look at that update page that we're looking at there, go right back to nearly the top of the update page to the Bonsai Cat's first sketch, not the later up Photoshop version. And look at the water that's spraying on the bonsai. You'll see what I mean. We want to try and have the full effect of a water spray, not just a blur of blue. That is not going to be easy to do. Yeah, the fishing line. Yes, you've got it. There's some people, when they got the fishing line on that print, the 9th print, they were like, oh my God, you got everything lined up so perfectly. And I said, thank you. But, of course, it's done with white opaque pigment on top. We're doing different ways. I know the first print in the JJ series that had snow falling, that's cut out. It's white snow, the white paper showing through. The fishing line on the JJ series number 9 is opaque pigment on top because there's so many blocks underneath it. There's like 5 blocks underneath that fishing line. got a chance yesterday to see an interesting book. It was kind of a private show and tell I got yesterday. One of the young ladies working for us, Rose from Australia, she has her own sort of side business as a used book dealer, a rare book dealer. Not just in Japanese stuff. She buys and sells books like old Gutenberg Bibles or whatever, this kind of stuff from any culture around the world. She's working with us as a part-time job for herself, but also to learn more about Japanese stuff, Japanese prints, Japanese books, things like this. But she brought in to show me yesterday an item that she has picked up a while ago and which she will be selling. And I'd love to get it, but it's way out of my pay grade. It's a set of 3 books. It's a Shunga series, book/album. And it would be from the 1860s or 1850s or something, I don't know. And it was a set of books, a 3-volume set of books that wasn't a part of normal commerce. It was clearly something commissioned by somebody with a very, very, very access to huge resources, very rich person, or to be given to somebody, a tono-sama or something like this. And wow, it was to die for. The carving and the printing and the production and the wrapping and the packaging were astonishing. I don't have it here. I can't show it to you. She of course took it home. But my God, it's a level of ukiyo-e work, printmaking work that I don't get to see very often because I can't possibly afford to own such an object. And it's incredible quality. What's this? Oh, it's Cameron-san. Soka. Right on time. I forget you're coming sometimes, I forgot.
You already forgot that. I'm gone 2 days in a row.
Well, yeah, you actually, not to be sarcastic, but actually it's sort of like it is. It's so action, people, what days, your history, and then Monday you come back, Soka, the weekend's over.
Oh, we do have other stuff.
Oh, this good morning, going. Look at this, 10, 15, 20 people say good morning to you. You're popular.
Wow, all right. At least someone remembers me.
All right, you win. That's for you anyway, I think. That's
okay, all right.
Also, before I forget, I can't find it.
Oh, I brought it upstairs.
I looked upstairs. I went through your desk, quote unquote. I mean, looked around your desk trying to find it. I could not find it.
Okay.
You see upstairs. Give me a hint.
I think under my desk I've got a little section of prints that I hide.
Okay.
Not hide, but keep there.
Okay, that's enough. Under your desk. Okay, I see it now.
Yep.
We're among the whiskey bottles and all that stuff.
Wait, what?
We hunted, not just me.
No.
Rose, I say, Rose, here's your admission. It's not here, it's not here. I'm sure I saw Cameron waving it.
Yes.
I saw that, and that's the end of David's knowledge of that.
Sorry. Well, it's a normal shipment anyway, so it usually goes out on Monday.
No, it's EMS. It's EMS, so we could have sent it. We could have called for a pickup.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not yelling at you, but just we could not find it. I knew we hadn't sold it, and I knew I'd seen you grab it, so we knew it was here somewhere. But just could not put our fingers on
it. I'm finally on when you're live. Thank goodness.
Welcome. Cameron's here.
No, it's probably about you.
Because of the time zone.
Yeah.
A different way. Some people, it's easier for some Europeans because it's now, instead of being at 1 o'clock in the morning, it's now midnight.
Yeah.
But the other way, people in America, they're in New York, they might see it at like 7 o'clock in the evening. Now it's at 6, so they're not home from work yet. So it works both ways.
Yeah. Did I just hear a ding? Is that
an email or something?
Email? Yeah. Okay.
I wasn't listening. Go and look in the question box if you like. I don't even remember the sound. It's been so long since people have done it.
Is that a question one or is that a different one? It was like ding. Instead of
remember the question. Okay, here we go.
Today, 7 minutes ago. Maybe I shouldn't say the real name, but there is a question.
Sorry.
From a little bit ago, so I don't think it's the sound I heard. But I heard newspapers made or commissioned woodblock prints. Given that their main business was newspapers, were these prints low quality or what were they like?
Oh, you're talking about back in the
Yeah,
well,
must
it's back
be
in the
back.
end of it, Meiji. Yeah, I know. Before the things that we know as newspapers in our own culture, before they existed, there were, I know, flyers and pamphlets and things to spread news around to the population made with woodblock printmaking. And some of them actually used the word shimbun. They used the early word that we use for newspaper here. So they were more
New
of a,
hearings.
yeah, a single event. Like there was a revolting murder down in the back street there last week. So they would
Make a flyer for it.
make a thing for it and sell it. And extra, read all about it. Grotesque murder in the Hambashi and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, there were things that broadcast news, and it's almost always it was grotesque, bloody.
I think we've had some in our shop, haven't we?
Yeah, exactly. Over the Meiji times,
Yeah.
Meiji section. So.
Gruesome looking murderers.
And they were the precursors of the things that we now call newspapers. And
Yeah.
they used the same word, shimbun. Tokyo shimbun was one, something. So. We have a bunch of things to do, Cameron, Sam, this morning. Today we're going to close the contest off. You know, at the moment,
Right.
it's still
It's the
running.
11th.
It's the 11th. So
Lots of entries, or lots of votes, rather.
yeah, it's interesting. And we're not talking about it. Didn't go like viral and get bajillions of votes. So it's only a few hundred people. I think there's about 360 votes or something altogether.
okay.
So it's quite. It's turned out to be just a community thing. You know,
Cool.
I never even put it on the Mokonkon webpage. We just kept it as a,
Yeah.
you know, just the emails that we sent to people
Well, it's
announcing it.
too late for anyone new to start voting anyway.
No. It's all, no. So it's turned out to be just a thing for the fans, and when you think about it, we're giving away those 5 prizes. It's over $2,000 worth of stuff.
Yeah.
And there's only a couple, like 150 people involved.
So your
here,
chances
it's
are pretty
actually
decent.
but even having said that, there's been a couple of attempts to.
Game the system.
Yeah. One I found this morning when I woke up. And
Yeah.
That's okay. But actually, it doesn't really matter. I took those, or I will take those votes out. But even with those out, it doesn't make a difference because the ones that are
There
at
are
the
a few
top.
clear winners.
Yeah, in most cases, there's clear organic winners that are bubbled to the top. Most of the community has selected similar ones. So.
Nice.
So when I said on the webpage that I reserve the right to do whatever I want, or when I
Yeah.
forget the wording I said,
Yeah.
I won't need to do that.
Oh, okay. The community did okay.
Yeah, in general.
Good job, guys.
But there were a couple of interesting attempts to play games.
Thank you for the reminder, Koringami. Happy birthday.
Yes, they've been on that when I first came on.
Okay.
Lots of birthdays. Thank you very much. I was reminding you to
Yes.
tell me.
Yep.
Yeah, they were on it this morning. Thank
Oh,
you guys.
good. It is a good community. People remember things like this. That common question, how many hours does it take? It totally depends
make a
on the
print.
complexity,
Of course.
the time you have, the size of the print. There's tons of factors. But someone said it can take days, weeks, months. It just depends on what time you have available and how big and how difficult the print is. So there's lots
To
of
put it in
factors.
more practical answer, the kind of print I'm making here right now, about the size you can see, it's sort of not quite a B5 size. The years I was making what I called my surimono albums, they were prints of roughly this complexity. And I prepared the drawing, did the carving of all the blocks, printed 200 copies, wrote a story, packaged them, got them to the post office in a space of 5 weeks, because I published 10 each year. So that's sort of that's a real on the ground, that's how long it took me answer for this. So a print like this, done by one person with no overlapping time. In other words, one carver, not a team of carvers.
Right, every
And
step
one
is done
carver,
in
not a team.
sequence.
Yeah. In that case, it was 5 weeks, working, normal hours to make a print like this. And that's an experienced person. would take Johnson 5 weeks just to do the carving, but whatever. So there's sort of a paradox. It looks hugely slow and inefficient. Oh my God, look at this, cutting every tree branch. I mean, nothing's more inefficient than this. Get a machine, blah, blah, blah. It looks inefficient. But having said that, given that time scale, to cut all these tree branches, and then the color blocks, and then the printing, print 200 copies, and at the time they were selling for 6,000 yen each, and those albums were almost sold out in the first few years. So 6,000 yen each for 200 prints. What's the number? That's 120,000, right? What's the? No, 6,000. That's 6 with 3 zeros times 200. That's 2 with 5 zeros. So 1, 2, 5 zeros. 2 times 6 is 12. Yeah. So it's a Hakuniju. So it's $12,000. Yeah. At the time, it was $1 yen was 1 to 1. So the revenue for me, the gross revenue, was $12,000 every 5 weeks. They were good years when I was doing that stuff. You know? Yeah. Of course, there's expenses. There's, whatever. But I don't have the expense of $12,000 every 5 weeks. Yeah. So during those years when I was doing those privately, before I had staff, before I had rent, before I had everything else, it was a very nice way to make a living. Yeah. So what seemed hugely inefficient, oh my God, carve another branch, what? Turned out to be very beautifully efficient and lucrative, not lucrative in the lucre sense, but you could make a living at it. Yeah. And that surprised and shocked me. I hadn't really expected it to be possible. When I started figuring out how can I make a living making woodblock prints, I expected to be just dirt poor all the way through. And that wasn't the case. Yeah. And it's sort of difficult to communicate that to other people because nobody can see this as a practical thing, but actually it is a practical thing.
Elrad-san has the same birthday as you. Happy birthday to you as well.
There are, I'm sure, a lot of us out there.
Yes, I'm sure.
It was cool for me as a kid because my birthday is a special day, or it was in Canada back in those days. It was what they used to call Armistice Day. Oh. No, they do the poppy thing now, I think, in Britain. Because the war then, I was born in 51, I was growing up in the 50s and 60s, the war was a recent thing. Yeah. And it was very much in the culture, very much in people's minds. Yeah. So Armistice Day was a big deal back then. It's faded away now, I guess.
Apologize if this is a rude question. I was looking at a couple of heroes woodblock prints for gifts and wondering if the woodblock print money goes to you, David, or to Jed, and it's split.
Well, of course.
Yeah, he gets a designer's royalty, and you get a carpenter's royalty, and our printers get some payment for their printing, so it goes to lots of people.
Everybody's happy, so the people are making a living with this. If you're talking about the physical woodblock versions, if you've got the jig-play versions, nothing comes to us, nor should it do, because you're getting a design from Jed, made on a piece of paper produced by Jed, so that's nothing to do with us at all. Yeah. If you get the woodblock version, everybody down the line is making money on it, or making. What's the word?
Revenues, though.
Oh, of course. So. Right, sir. I don't get a specific carver's fee because I carve those not as an employee of the organization. Yeah. But I eat from this place, so yes. Yeah. I'm compensated. Yeah. Of course.
As a Canadian, are you a hockey fan?
Well, I was when I was younger. I mean, now it's completely not part of my life at all. I understand the NHL has started up for another year. I guess it's now in November. Yeah. I don't even know the names of the teams anymore. I'm sorry. But when I was a little kid, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, I was in it. I was in the community little, I played hockey in quotation marks, of course, as a little shaver. I would have been 57. I would have been 8 years, 9 years, 10 years old. And my team was the Toronto Maple Leafs. And my guy was Frank Mahovlich, number 27. I had his sweater. I don't know how they got the word Mahovlich across the back of a little kid's sweater, but it must be pretty small type, whatever. So. And somewhere it's now lost in the mists of time, you know, when movies and growing up. My dad, for a while, had a little, one of those, 8mm movie cameras.
Oh, yeah.
So there is, or there was at some point in time, footage of Dave skating around on this rink with his skates splayed out sideways because it was cheap $10 cardboard skates, or $2 cardboard skates.
Yeah.
I had no ankle support. Down he goes. I'd love to see that now, but of course it's long ago and tossed out, you know. So. He must have borrowed somebody's 8mm camera. You know. I'd love to see that. He shoots, he scores.
Oh, but he's flat on his back.
And we're all on one of the neighbors. There's a family called Busick, and they're a cousin of a cousin of a cousin or something.
Right.
Was in the Boston Bruins. So here we had a real neighbor, a little boy whose name was Busick, and in the Boston Bruins was a player called Busick. So this kid was just God in our community. Just God. He's related to somebody who's related to a Boston Bruins player.
Yeah.
And they had a big backyard, and the dad used to shave off the backyard and just spray it with a hose every winter.
Yeah.
So from November right through till February, whatever, when it got mushy, or March when it got mushy, we had a little, not a little, it was by my standards quite big, you know.
Yeah.
And they'd set up snow goal posts to skate, play. You know.
Play, yeah.
And they hung a light bulb up, and nighttime before our mothers called us in, we'd be out there, you know. And I can, my mother's voice, it was across the back alley and down 2 houses. And we're out there, and I can hear her, Dave, Simon, bedtime, you know, and I'm like, didn't hear that, didn't hear that, you know, didn't hear that. So.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
El Radsan was born at 11:11 a.m. on November 11th.
Really? Do you believe that? That's your mother's story, but do you believe that? You know, so.
Is it on the birth certificate?
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't know.
Not quite sure if I would believe the documentation there, but okay, fair enough. I have no idea what timeline popped. No idea. But I can beat that in that my birth, so they tell me, so my mother tells me, we've had this before on this Twitch stream, we've talked about it, my birth was announced on the BBC radio nationally.
Nice.
And we've tried to find a record of that here. We've been talking about it on this stream maybe a year ago or so. And that the broadcast existed is recorded, that it's known that there was a broadcast by that band on that day, the next day, November 12th.
Right.
But nobody can find a recording of it.
Too bad. He says, yep, it's on the certificate.
Okay, fair enough. And I don't mind to argue. So.
My 11th birthday was great. See if you can make it to 11:1. Bilbo Baggins. Ken Howard says, I think Ma Bull is online. Can she confirm? And she jumped in and said 7:30 p.m. broadcast on the BBC.
Okay, what about the birth time? What time was I born?
Let's find out.
Ma Bull, is that the expression?
That's what.
Ma Bull. Sounds a bit Kentucky-ish for me, but okay, whatever.
So did the carving plans change up? I thought someone else was going to start this project.
No, Chonsan's doing number 2. I've got to get going. We've got enough time. Chonsan is too slow. I know we've got to get number 1 out of here. So Chon's going to do number 2. Kawasaki-san is doing, she will do this year's subscription series.
Right.
So we've changed horses.
Okay.
He did last year's series. She's going to do this year's series.
Okay.
There's a number of reasons behind this. One is his pace. He was, at the beginning of the year, we were 2-3 months ahead of the game. Now we're barely on it.
Yeah.
He's just too slow to handle a deadline subscription series.
Yeah.
So we've switched him to doing this, which has no specific deadlines.
Yeah. Got it.
And it's also a question of royalties. He's going to get good royalties for that last year's series because they're going to sell for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And I've got to get her into that pool, into that bonus pool.
Yeah.
It's not fair to give it all to him. So.
Right. Hoping this series will be just
No,
as well
of course,
received.
Of course, of course. It's clearly going to sell in many, many years. You know.
Yeah.
So let's get her into that, into the party.
Yeah.
So there's a number of factors involved in the decision.
They're saying you should stream until this block's finished. The
Yeah,
assistant
one
can
shot,
get you some
that's-
food.
Sure.
Thanks.
No, thank you.
We've got some Kit Kats over in the corner, right?
Unfortunately, there are more jobs waiting. I did sizing last night. I got to bed about midnight. The printers again have changed their plans. I went upstairs to get the paper to ship to Kanai-san, and it turns out that Sugu-san and Ishikawa-san had, quote, stolen it, unquote, for their own use. But I hadn't caught that, so I had to do more sizing last night. Rush job. It's okay, peaceful work in the evening, nobody around.
Your mother hasn't mentioned when you were born, but someone asked why was your birth announced on the BBC? They said that the band your father was a part of happened to have a broadcast that day, so I guess they just said.
Yeah, they had a weekly broadcast at that time.
Song.
It was quite a famous band. It was what's called the Oscar Rabin Dance Band or Dance Orchestra, the Oscar Rabin Orchestra. Okay. And back in the day, this is an immediate post-war period, they had a residency at the, was it the Lyceum in Leicester Square? Don't quote me 100% on it because I don't know, but just remembering stories. One of the theaters in Leicester Square, they had a residency there. And the BBC gave them a weekly radio broadcast at one point. It was, I think it was Saturday night. Again, I don't know the details.
Yeah.
And there's an MC announcing it's a 30-minute radio broadcast. And tonight's evening, swinging with Oscar Rabin and his orchestra, and they started to play a song. Then the MC fills in and they play another song. Then the MC fills in and says, there's news from the bandstand. One of our players, the baritone saxophonist Roy Bull, was presented with a young bouncing baby boy this morning. Congratulations to Roy and Betty Bull on their new son, David. You know, blah, blah.
Nice.
And this is on BBC live national radio. You know, my birth was announced on the radio, like it's anything to do with me, you know. And I've heard this story, but of course I
haven't heard the broadcast.
haven't heard the broadcast. So. But it's a cool thing to be able to say. And my mother swears this is what happened, and the nurses were there.
Yeah.
She's in the hospital with me in my bed beside her or whatever. And the nurses know who she is at this one, so they've got the radio broadcast playing through the place. And
then they hear.
So.
That's pretty cool. Smallest Ant asks, are you going to make the New Year's print again live? I think it's starting to be a tradition.
Wait. That wasn't.
We did it once.
That wasn't the New Year's print. That was no connection to the New Year's print. No.
Last year's, the Bonkei.
Oh, I did that.
That was a New Year's print. Yeah. The previous year was not. It was just another small print.
You're right.
Yeah.
By the way, also, we're out. It's
turned around again.
I can't find any.
Oh no.
And we have on the stock shows, we have a whole bunch, but there's nothing here. So it's on the list of things.
See what Ome can
about.
get us.
Also, I know where's the gift print for this year? Like we made 300
We've
of them.
printed a bunch. Okay.
There's nothing here. So
right.
Ome is
I'll
kind of
get on it.
Yeah.
Let me write it down to make sure.
So, yeah, should we do that again with the New Year's card? I don't know. Just let me think about this because I don't know. I know what we had done last year, because 2 years ago, making that girl in the water print turned out to be a really nice stream. It was a
fun.
good thing. It was fun to do, and it turned out well. But as usual, there's something in the world called the second system effect. When you try and build your second software suite, or when you try and make your second movie, or when you try and do something that had been successful, you try and do it again. You overthink it, you prepare too much, I can do more, I can do it more special this time.
Yeah.
And you screw it up. And that stream was really not so interesting at all. I was self-conscious, or it wasn't interesting enough print, or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
So would we do that again this year? Let me think about that.
Okay.
Let me think about that. I'm not quite so sure. It's more important to get a nice print made than to try and shoehorn it into a long live stream. I don't know. My fingernails are too long, and I just keep forgetting to cut them. I got out of the shower this morning. I should have grabbed the clipper. Instead, I was running for the email and the caption contest and blah blah blah. Look at this. It's disgusting. I'm talking. It wasn't myself.
saying, what about Godfather 2? It can be better. The second one. When can we expect the new gift print to arrive? If we ordered it on the first day it went up. They started shipping early this past week.
You should have it like any minute.
Yeah, it should be there soon.
Those are flying around the world as we speak. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Normal shipping
Those are gone.
depends on where you are, but it's usually around 2 weeks, but it can vary from 1 week to 5.
Also, now that we are now
the
moving
post
into the year-end
system
season with the post office, we find two things happen. Some shipments take longer than usual, and some shipments take, oh my God, faster than usual.
Yeah, how did they get there?
They put on extra planes and extra staff and
Yeah.
extra stuff, and some stuff just goes zip right through the system.
Yeah.
But anyway, they are on the way. They are on the way.
Yeah.
Even new orders. If you order today, it will be shipped.
We'll send it out.
Yeah, today.
Yeah.
So.
Our printers got really busy and printed a whole lot of
Not our
them.
printers, me.
Oh,
I did all of them. I did everything. I did 300 copies of that key block.
Of the key block, yes, and then all the printers
So-
did all the other steps too. You're one of the printers.
Okay.
All right.
I made every one of those.
Yeah.
My name doesn't go on it, though. But it's nowhere near as popular as the owl was. Absolutely nowhere near. The consensus seems to be that although it's an interesting design and many people like it, the fact that it is a human person, a woman, makes it less viable as a gift print for many people. And I didn't really think that far through it, and it really wouldn't have affected my decision anyway, because we make these things for the long term.
Yeah.
It will be long term popular,
Yeah.
but maybe it's not the best thing to put up as a gift print for
Yeah.
someone to send to Aunt Jane for Christmas or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, too late now. We're into it.
The other ones are still available.
Yes, so.
And
Aunt
have
Jane, you can
been
get it
popular
now. Yeah,
still.
yeah.
So.
So what we should do, Cameron, but we're going to do at least one more time before that closes at the end of November. We'll do at least one more MailChimp.
Okay.
Do it and maybe make instead of just putting that one picture front and center, make a Photoshop thing
With lots of
and then
them,
put that in instead.
Yeah.
Or a selection of gift prints this year.
Yeah.
That might make more sense.
Yeah. Sounds like Dave may suffer from 115th system effect. Because he's always trying to make his next YouTube video better than the previous. But I don't think it makes it worse, though.
When you try too hard, you fall on your face sometimes. Yeah. But I didn't make up that thing, the second system effect. Wikipedia.
Yeah.
It's a thing. I forget the guy's name. I learned about this years and years and years ago. The guy who used to work for IBM.
Yeah.
He was involved in programming on one of the earliest System 360 or something. I forget what it was called. And it was successful, and the team was tasked with doing the next one. And they totally crapped out.
Huh.
And his job was to try and analyze what went wrong.
Yeah.
I forget his name, I'm sorry. It's a known person, it's a known thing. If you Wikipedia second system effect, you'll see there's a book which I have at home on my shelf in Ome, front and center, where I can remember that it exists and this goes on. It is a real thing.
Smallest Dan says, speaking of YouTube, when is the next video?
Okay, come on, gang. We're in the middle of our if you saw my schedule yesterday and this last weekend, we're in the middle of our autumn rush here. We're still short-staffed. Dave is firefighting. I'm doing the firefighting. I'm also doing the stuff. I ran the shop yesterday. I did a print party yesterday.
Yeah. No, he put funny faces. He's like, I know I'm just hassling you. It's like, given that you're not already drowning in work, wink. Busy.
Yeah, no, I don't want to play that, oh my God, I'm such a busy person, look at how wonderful I am, look how special I am because I'm so busy. Crap, I don't like that. But we are freaking busy, there's nothing else to say.
Arts Plungesque. Was that book The Mythical Man Month?
Yes, I think that's it. Yes.
Just
What's the guy's name? Remind me the guy's name. Because I can't pull it up. I'll recognize it as soon as you say it.
give him a minute to Google it.
Yeah. Well, I have the first edition. I have the book. It's pride of place on my bookshelf. Absolutely.
Fred Brooks.
Yeah, bingo. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Highly recommended. It's not just for software engineers. Highly recommended to anybody who makes stuff. And he's an engaging writer, a little bit technical, but more the message is for anybody.
Does the next year series have an official name yet? They're asking.
No,
Natsukashi Journey.
Sorry, no, it doesn't. The streamers, so that people in the chat know what it's about, that what we're doing, visiting places that were the inspiration for iconic locations in various anime by a certain Japanese company. But what would be a good title for the thing? I don't know. In our in-house here, it's GJ. Last year's series was JJ. This year's series was JJ, Japan Journey.
Yeah.
Next year it's GJ, but we can't call it that. So
Yeah.
So any suggestions will be listened to.
Since moving downstairs at your current shop, has there ever been a slow period at Neko Hakkei? The summer was slower than usual. Yeah.
Yes, we're the shop part is seasonal. Our general business, subscriptions and stuff, is not seasonal, but the shop is very seasonal. January, February, there's not so many visitors in the door, and in the hottest, most unpleasant season, July, August, there are not many visitors. What's going to happen next year with the Olympics, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Because that's happening at one of our slump seasons, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. There we go. Villager Vince, the one who asked about naming a series, says, what about Natsukashi Journey? And then gives an explanation. Says, well, the Japanese word Natsukashi does have an English equivalent in the word nostalgia. The use and meaning of the word are quite different. Natsukashi is used quite often in everyday language in Japan. And when used, Japanese people are not saying nostalgia. They're expressing a feeling that warms the heart because it brings back memories. And Ghibli movies are nostalgic and heartwarming.
So would that be a nostalgic journey? Might be something, okay, under consideration. Thank you.
Yeah.
Under consideration. What's the time, Cameron, Sam?
9:04.
Okay, then I'm going to take a break. I should go to the bathroom.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Nope.
Don't feel late. I usually time it better than this, but this morning I was running around like crazy with that stupid script.
Gotcha.
So excuse me a minute. A few minutes in the smallest room in the house. Sorry. Entertain everybody.
Okay. Hi, everyone. What's Dave working on at the moment? This is the key block for...
Just while I'm not there, if you want to, there is a little show and tell today. So if you guys want to peek at it and play with it.
All right. What do we have? Ooh, what are you? Should I go all the way through? All right. Right now he's working on the key block for the first Neko Hakkei, the first 8 views of cats print, which is a parody of Hiroshige landscape. I shouldn't say that too loud because I might be wrong about who it is. But it's really cool. And the designer is Randall Hall, who I think mostly works with tattoo designs, but has done beautiful work here on this print for us. Let's take a look. Show and tell. Oh, okay. I'll put it in the middle here. Do you recognize this format for prints? With these borders. These borders should give it away. Ooh, what do we have today? I'm not much of a good show and tell person here. Yes, John Becker, you've got it right. It looks like this is another one of those rare combinations. With not 2, not 4, but 6 Senshafta all stuck together in a series. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like we have 6. I don't know if it's a full series of 6 or if this is part of a series of 12 or 10 or something else, but cool. He'll know a lot more about it than I will when he comes back. Ask me about something I might know about, and then I'll be more helpful. Oh, okay. Looks like there are also some of the little ones here in the corner, so those who are less familiar with this enchafada can see what we're talking about. One border, although it's smaller. But it's basically 6 of these all together to make one big one. Is it a calendar? I think not. Let's see. Each one has a picture of somebody doing something, some traditional work, it looks like. And then these in the bottom, place names. Fukagawa, Asakusa, other places, Kaminarimon, places around us. And people's names, I think. So probably just the supporters who commissioned the work, but he'll know much more than I do. How's my family? We're good. Things are good. Am I doing any more videos? Yes, we have quite a few in the works, but they've been in the works for a while. Things got crazy here, and Dave hasn't had much of a chance to look at them and add some voiceovers. But I made that mini one on Friday. Did we ever hear back from Studio Ghibli? I think we have an answer to that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
Well, I sounded like an ignoramus here, so I let them...
Let them tell you what it was.
Yeah, tell me what it was. And we'll have you explain in more detail later on. But I showed a little bit of what sanchafada is and how...
Should we just peek at them now then?
Sure.
They're here.
Since we've got it out.
They're sanchafada. They're not all that old. This is post-war. They're post-war. Nicely made though. Nicely made. So this would be 1960s, I guess, I don't know, 60s or 70s. Not sure. This is a very unusual one here. And these are kind of nice. And I was trying to figure out what the theme is.
Yeah, that's what they were asking too. Is it a calendar? Someone asked, but
Not a calendar, but I guess, I'm just simply guessing, there's 6 in here, right?
Yeah.
And they seem to have a theme related to Yoshiwara.
Okay.
Yoshiwara, we have, there's scenes of in and around the Yoshiwara. Where's the key one here? Just a second. Here we are. This is how it used to look in the, what's the word, the sort of cheaper part of the Yoshiwara, where the girls were actually on display. They're behind the railings. And the guys would, customers are walking by and they're meeting some of the ladies who are working in those places, And the other scenes, they're just sort of random street scenes from the Yoshiwara. In fact, we see here a food delivery guy. We have the guys on the bicycle. These days, it's a bicycle with the noodles on the back, whatever. And there it is, it's on his head. This is not a guy who, in fact, we see closer up. This is probably not something you would have seen down in the Nihonbashi area around town.
Right.
This is within the Yoshiwara, where they're ordering some food from somewhere that's really, really right next door, in the back street, right next door. And this is it's an expensive meal. This is a Thai and whatever. And I'm not so sure this is realistic. Would a meal like that have been delivered from outside?
Yeah.
I guess so. That's what we see here. We see the same thing here and inside. Or was it just for show?
Yeah.
The guy, the rich patron has ordered the top deluxe meal.
Yeah.
So
they paraded it outside. They paraded
around or outside. I don't know about that, but whatever. Anyway, so I doubt this is something you would have seen out in the middle of town as a normal food delivery. This is definitely within Yoshiwara.
It's for show.
Okay, before I show this one, look familiar? Can you go to the shop, the vertical landscapes?
Try to find that same one?
You'll see it right there. It's called something about Shin Yoshiwara. No, it's a small thin one. Like it's tall and thin. Okay. No, I saw it yesterday because we were looking at it yesterday when we opened this package. It's tall, thin, autumn moon at the top.
blind or it's moved. That's good idea.
It's there, I know it's there. I know we've got it. We've got like 5 or 6 copies of it.
You're right. It's less skin. Yoshiwara Nihon Tsuzumi?
Yeah. No, but no, it's a tall, thin one. No. Oh. I know it's there.
Could be miscategorized then. In this file, it's right here in one of these. Things that we do. So, that's one of these. That was there yesterday because we looked at it. We didn't very long. Did we leave it out when somebody bought it already? What? Where did this one? Here's another one. Okay.
That's what I get when you leave it out on top. Stuff sells. So
Yep.
Anyway, there yesterday. Oh, so here we are. So again, the scenes are all Yoshiwara scenes, and what we have is there's a full moon and a willow tree, 2 guys with a thing,
Palanquin.
And here we have, this is the Hiroshige print that it was based on, that it was swiped from. So it's just theft, outright theft.
Yeah.
Can I get them side by side? I'm not sure where we are here.
Yeah, I'll make this a little smaller.
It's the same thing. It's the same picture, the same cargo, the same guy looking back at the sign. Even the
tree
willow
looks the
branch
same.
is the same. The houses are the same. So this is a Hiroshige.
It's just slightly compressed instead of tall and skinny.
And there's no attribution. Just whatever, who would make a cinch after. It doesn't matter. You grab an old print. It's public domain stuff. It doesn't matter at all. And what this is people going home. They're in the Kagwa here. It's late at night. The guy has been out for his evening of wining and dining and etc. And he's now heading home. And this is Nihon Tsutsumi. It's what is it? It's the reverse of a river valley. It's an embankment that ran from the Yoshiwara all the way up to the Sumida River. So he's being carried from the Yoshiwara up to the Sumida River, where he'd get a water taxi or something to get back home, downtown. So so it's a scene. Here's a guy. This is a soup seller.
Oh, okay.
Shiru nani ura uri. It's a guy. He's got a box here with some kind of. The symbol says it's soup of some kind of liquid. And he would be. This would be walking around the Yoshiwara, selling his stuff. Huh. And I guess this must be one of a pair. There must be 2 here, where she is in the room. There's lantern light. She's pointing and giggling at something, and who knows what's going on. This is the timekeeper. The timekeeper, not the timekeeper. It's not a sports game. It's a clock.
Yeah.
8 o'clock, all's well, or whatever. Banging his sticks
Hour of the
together.
tiger.
Hour of the hour. So. Toki o utsu, striking the time. So there's 6 of them, and I think there must have been, maybe, I'm guessing out loud, there will be 6 more, maybe to make 12 scenes of life in the Yoshiwara, as it was done back in Edo time. And that's all I know about this. I don't have a date or a time or whatever. They are very, very, very nicely made. I'm green with envy at the quality of the woodblock to be able to carve such beautiful, beautiful, clean lines.
And the colors are printed so smoothly.
Yeah, that's because the paper's nice paper, so just dead smooth to show, and sharp and clean. The piece of wood I'm working on right now is nowhere near capable of doing this. It just wouldn't do it. If I tried to carve that thin here, it would just crumble into the knife.
Yeah.
I'm so sad, They just used to pick up the phone, I give you 6 blocks, 20 by 10, order the size. The next day they'd show up, and away you go,
People are asking a couple of questions about these. Is there a Western sensibility to some of these designs, or am I imagining it?
A Western sensibility.
Well, we already saw one was an old design swiped, or
These are just
but,
characters,
yeah.
so there's no specific perspective. They're isolated characters.
Yeah.
This would be the kind of thing you see in the Hokusai manga. He just drew characters doing things all day long.
Yeah.
This is, as you saw, taken directly from an ukiyo-e design.
Yeah. Then
The
another.
rest are isolated characters, so I'm not sure there's anything Western about it specifically. I'm sorry.
And then on the bottom, they're saying, are these place names, people names?
No,
I think
these are the
both.
sponsors' names.
Yeah.
These are the sponsors' names. This is a Senshafada group, a group of people who...
Roku. It's us. It's our street.
Yeah, it could be. I haven't even looked at this. So, yeah, maybe. I mean, all this stuff happened around here, around this area,
Yeah.
in Shitamachi.
I looked through it briefly with some of them. We saw Kaminari-mon and Asakusa and other things. So it's right around this area.
Can't be that old. Look at this, Mickey and Katakana.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So,
Disney sponsored this
I
thing?
don't think so. So,
Different Mickey.
oh, it's too bad Doi-san's not here because he knows.
He knows his
many
stuff,
of these
yeah.
people. Yeah, he knows this stuff. He knows many of these people. Some of them are shops, and some of them are individuals.
Is that what I think it is?
Different kanji, so.
Yeah, it's a
That's
different
not the
one.
kanji they use. But
No,
it's
ni-
Asakusa Nintendo.
So instead of Nintendo, it's Nintendo. The second two kanji are the same as Nintendo's, though. That's so funny.
In Asakusa. Again, these are known people. I don't know them myself. Whatever. These are known people here. Moto Asakusa Suzuki. Maybe that's the family that our landlady.
Yeah.
It could well be, absolutely. That's
Yep.
where she comes from over there.
Yeah.
Next time she comes around, I gotta ask her.
Is this you?
Yeah. So maybe that actually is not as old as I thought. I said, what did I say, 50s or 60s? But these are so well known. I wouldn't have put it 70s or 80s. They're just too nicely made.
Yeah.
But maybe, looking at some of these names down here, it might be. And this is local. This is right here on the ground. Right here on the ground.
Yep. Right here in our neighborhood.
Yeah. And I said, these are sponsors. There would be maybe, 200 people. They get their money. They do this a number of times a year. What's the project for next spring? And they talk about it and drink and have
Yeah.
some meetings and talk about it some more. And they would sponsor Woodblock Company to a, good
hi,
morning,
gozaimasu.
Wadabashi-san, hello. They would sponsor a woodblock company to carve them and print them, make 200 copies of each and pass them around.
Yeah.
It's still a little bit going on. It's staggering to the end. There was a project last year. Somebody did a smaller version of some of these, hired Nagao-san Tachi to make it. They crapped out partway through. Kawai-san stepped in to do the
Oh,
printing
that's
for them
right. I
last
remember
year.
that.
And got nothing. He got a penny a sheet or something.
Is Senshafuda a set size, or is there?
This-
looks
yes,
like there's
this
some
is the size.
variety,
This-
though.
No, this is what's called an icho,
Okay.
meaning one up. The things we're looking at here, this is a rokucho. You can see.
But they look slightly. Or this
Oh,
looks
maybe
slightly
look at
smaller.
this. Maybe
It's
like
interesting.
Tatami, there's the Edo tatami. And
Yeah,
the tatami,
okay.
But yeah, it's a little bit narrow, a little bit wider. So this is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Interesting.
Common are nicho, yoncho, hacho,
Yeah.
6. They're always in even numbered multiples, of course, the way they're laid out on the paper. So.
Right.
And some
Didn't you
photos-
once get a what was it, a 12 or something huge that
We've got it.
Doi-san had
It's like a
never
triple
seen
12,
before?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a 36.
What is this?
So this is Shitaya nearby here.
Ah, okay. Stayaki.
Seagal. I'm not sure what's being depicted here. Some folk, it looks like a mass, an eggplant, and a cucumber.
Yeah.
With chopsticks stuck into make legs. So there's a
Characters. or
reference to
something.
something that I don't know.
Yeah.
Either it's a classic children's toy made from vegetables,
Yeah.
or it's something these guys knew about. One guy did it as a joke at a party, and
Yeah.
the gang knew what it was about. I don't know. Nobody will ever know.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get out.
So it's 9:20. So you wanna carve some more, or I'll wrap it up.
I'll put my knife back into the wood for a few
All right.
minutes. If you can take notes.
What do
Are
you
there any
got?
announcements or anything we need to make today? I don't remember. I don't know.
It's Monday. Tomorrow
So I
is
think what we'll
nothing.
do, Cameron-san, as soon as I get out of here, the Kawai-san and Wadabashi-san can do the first party. So I'll come up with you, and we better wrap up the contest.
Okay.
Let's close the voting
out.
thing, take a last parse through, to
Yeah.
try and pull out any more that look like they are
Trouble.
not organic votes.
Yeah.
And then before noon, let's make our announcement on where we're going to do it. The whole thing, Facebook,
Yeah, let's do all three,
Instagram,
yeah.
Facebook, Insta, and our own blog.
Yeah.
Okay. And we don't know actually the real names yet and addresses of the people. All we know is their username that they entered for this with their email address.
Right.
So publicly we will be announcing, I guess, we'll do it by username. That's all I know. The person who entered username such and such is the grand prize winner of number 1, number 2, number 3.
Yeah.
Then we ourselves have to write to those people saying, tell me who you are, name and address. You know.
So we can get
So
you.
we won't be publicly putting names and addresses.
Right.
And of course we'll open the page then so people can see all the ranking
Yeah.
on the captions themselves.
Oh yeah.
What else do we need to do? I was thinking for the 5 grand prizes, it's going to be the top caption on those.
Yeah.
But for the other one, there's 12 Hunger Club prints which go to everybody's a random draw.
Yeah.
And for that, let's use random.org.
Okay.
Give them the list of emails
Yeah.
in a private draw.
Yeah.
They will choose the 12 from us. And when we make the announcements, we can include a link to the random.org page. They have a deal where you can check, you can make sure David and Cameron are doing this properly.
Yeah.
So people can type in their email.
Right.
Random.org will say, yes, that was entered in this draw 6 times.
Cool.
If people didn't actually trust us that we're going to do this properly. So maybe we'll set one of those up.
Oh no, I missed the caption contest. Yep. It's
It's
over.
still open for voting, but it's not open for entering.
For new
Well,
captions,
no,
yeah,
of
that's
course
long gone.
not. 3 days ago.
Yeah.
But for a few more minutes, it'll be still open for voting.
So if you want to vote on anything and you've entered a caption, please do it
but again,
now.
Don't try stuffing it. Don't try and vote 25 times for one thing. You know,
Yeah.
our system will just kill those automatically. So.
まあね、
カイさん、風とか大丈夫？声は。
だいぶ
風のような声。
だいぶ、喉の痛みはだいぶその。
So, was it Gami, I think, shared a picture he found on Pinterest where someone has those Sanshafrida.
Really? Really? With more information?
Framed.
More in the set?
Not much.
More in
Just
the set? Different ones?
I think these are 4 that we have.
Okay. So how did you find it? Reverse Google image search?
Maybe, I don't know.
Or just searching by word? Curious, good.
Yeah. But that is some wild wallpaper, someone said. Yeah, it's hiragana calligraphy on the wallpaper.
Is it wallpaper or is it? Yeah, it is wallpaper.
Yeah, it looks like it's repeating, yeah.
My God, can you imagine waking up and looking at that every day?
Interesting.
It's not a shop display, is it?
It doesn't look like it. I don't see price tags or anything. Interesting. The label on Pinterest says Asakusa Yoshiwara Omura on 3 out of 7. Speaking of traditional touches, the Omurans.
3 out of 7.
Yeah. Decoration was this very interesting collection of Sanjafida stickers related to the area.
What's the 3 out of 7 thing?
I don't know. That's what it says. So I just Googled Sanjafida Yoshiwara scenes and found it really fast.
Good, thank you.
Cool.
This is a chocolate egg for somebody. Who's that? Konigami?
Yep, Korinigami.
No date on the thing?
Doesn't look like it. 2017. So that's when it was posted, not when it was printed. 2017, yeah.
Not carving like that.
Or 15. Yeah.
This is so cool, you know, having these things in the back. We show something and people are looking. Very nice.
Excuse me.
Very nice. We didn't hear back from Moriki-san, did we? We got to get on to him today.
Yeah,
Is that
because
trip
it's in
on
2
or
days.
off? I know.
Or 3
But I
days,
just
maybe.
phoned him this morning, I guess,
Yeah.
to see what's going on.
I never heard anything from you. I thought maybe you just hadn't forwarded it or something.
I would have done that straight away. Of course.
Yeah. Okay.
We had a funny experience yesterday afternoon here, about 5 o'clock or something, not too long before we closed. We were sitting here chatting, there was no customers in, three of us, just two girls that were on the staff from yesterday.
Yeah.
And we heard sort of a bit of commotion, somebody shouting, getting closer, closer, closer. And I was with my back to the door, but the girls had their front to the door, and they saw a guy run by, shoot! Just running.
Yeah.
And then about like 5 seconds behind him, stop thief, city.
Yeah.
So some guy must have, pickpocket, he must have grabbed somebody's wallet and
run off.
And they felt it and chased him down the street.
Wow.
It was too late for us, we just went by, nothing we could do. It wasn't running towards
Not any
us,
faster
what should
than
I
them,
do?
yeah.
So. But I've never seen that before. Never.
Wow. I hope they got him.
No idea. And even the printers upstairs heard what's happened because they could hear it. They're up on the third floor.
Yeah.
They can hear the longer
Yeah.
episode going on. So. And they were running that way, away from the police box. So they must have like passed by the police box or whatever. So,
Yeah. So was it police or just I
didn't see
maybe
it.
the
I had my
victim
back to
who
the
ran
window,
up?
so
Okay.
it was a guy. They said it was a guy running by and a woman chasing after him.
Got it.
And that's all I know. I didn't follow him down the street. But I've never seen that in real life.
Yeah.
Stop thief. So.
Yeah.
And what do you do? I mean, suppose you're walking down the street and this is coming towards you. You can hear the commotion, and there it is. There's this guy running towards you, and you can hear the voice, stop thief.
Yeah.
What do you do? Do you
Try to
get out of the way? Do you tackle him? Do you interfere? Or what's the danger to yourself? Or, So I don't know. I've never been faced with that situation. So. In this case, there was nothing for us to do. It happened. It was a parade that ran by our window.
Yeah. Stick out your foot, someone says. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You've got to make your decision on,
Very
who's
limited
cool and who
information.
isn't cool and how dangerous this is, and has he got a knife in his hand, and whatever.
Yeah. So, a few months ago, something happened in Japan, and it was posted, I don't know, some news site or something, but where some high school girls in a train station started yelling, "Chikan, Chikan." Some guy had touched one of them and was running off, and someone was videotaping the chase, and it caught on the tape an old guy who was standing near the people fleeing, just put his foot out really subtly, and the guy just fell right over and caught him, and he just pretended nothing happened, oops, just knocked him over, and they were able to get him, and that guy got in huge trouble. But the guy who tripped him, the police said, well, you just helped catch the criminal, so we aren't pressing charges even though he got hurt. they couldn't.
But I'm a bit nervous about that. A group of random high school girls. Do we trust them, or are they just screwing around, or whatever? Or is this actually a bad guy, or just someone? Because I'm not so
victimized,
sure.
yeah.
Victimized. So this is a tough one,
I think
the idea of vigilante justice really creeps me out.
Yeah.
It's not the way our society should work, And I get it. If there's a criminal act happening, we'd like to stop this, but vigilante justice is a tough one.
But it made it so that they could get him, and the police got him. So then it wasn't just vigilante. He didn't beat him up or anything, but he could have gotten away from these two young girls. And
so the theory is because he was running, that's an admission of guilt, is it? I'm not so sure about that either, but okay, whatever. This is a tough one. Just the very accusation, even though you didn't do anything, could destroy somebody's life.
Eldradson. I wonder if there's an American equivalent to mulberry plants for washing paper. Mulberry plants grow in the U.S.
Yeah, Timothy Barrett has done this years and years ago. I think he's retired now from a university in Idaho. He was over here for a number of years studying intensively Japanese paper-making processes, including mulberry cultivation. And he took with him back to America many, many different plants. and actively started a program there of growing mulberry in or around his university with the intention of providing American domestic stores for making similar paper. And this is years ago. This is, like I say, he's probably retired now. So if you Googled up Timothy Barrett, I think it's Idaho, might be Iowa, I think it's Idaho.
Someone says Iowa.
Yeah, okay.
Vernon Wood.
Got it, sorry. Anyway, it's a known thing out there doing this. This is known. His research is extremely well documented.
Cool.
I don't know if it's actually turned into an industry over there or not. I guess not. We would have heard about it by now. But he's the man. He's the man to talk to about that.
Cool.
I don't know how to spell his last name. Timothy Barrett. 2 R's, 2 T's, 1 R, 1 T. I don't remember. I'm sorry. There's a book. He published a book through Weather Hall. What's the name of the company? Published books about Japan. Weather Hall, something like that.
Oh, someone said, follow up with the Gumpy guys. They should try to cultivate Gumpy. Yes, I called them on Friday.
And they
talked
said,
nicely. No, they remembered us. So we're on their list. They are getting to us. It's coming. They just are also making lots of paper for lots of people. And like has been mentioned before, we are a new unknown customer.
Bottom of their list.
Yep, bottom of their list.
I think, Cameron, we better get out of here, right?
Okay.
I've got tons of work to do. We've got to wrap up that contest. I've got to be party host this afternoon. I've got blocks of paper to ship to the printers. Let's wrap this up. Thanks for the happy birthdays, gang.
Yep.
Nice to see. You don't really count much anymore. 68. I can't remember. How old am I? Let's see, 51 plus 8.
Yeah.
58. That's good. Good. Nice to have the friendship and support from out there. What is this? Today's Monday. The next stream. This is my break now, right? Monday night. It's my break. Tomorrow. Soka. Tomorrow is actually a big day for us. On Tuesday, the shop is closed. And this is nothing that we can show on the stream or whatever. But finally, after months and months and months of preparation, me and Aoyama-san are heading to the home Kyoku Tuesday morning. Right. We are registering our organization as an actual business. Yeah. So my personal venture comes to an end December 31st. And as of January 1st, something happens to me that I swore I would never, ever, ever do again. I swore up and down, David, as long as I live, I will never, ever become an employee ever again. On January 1st, I become an employee
of yourself.
Of Neko Hakkei. I'm an employee. I get a salary. Yep. It's not going to be much, but it's there. Yep. And I am going to be an employee. And I said I would never do that. Anyway, can't be helped. Yep. Can't be helped. Taxes are what taxes are. Yep. So we do that Tuesday morning. Aoyama and I are going. We're going to take a camera with us.
All right, nice.
2 of us, and we're going to get some standby person to shoot, take a picture.
All right.
The beginning of the end. The end of the beginning. Happy birthday! You could have said happy birthday.
See, I was saving it for this.
Yeah. Oh, but there's more.
Saving this.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Thank you very much, kids. Thank you.
Cool. And we will wrap this up.
Okay, guys. See you on that. So we'll be back on. Remind me what day we'll be on.
Thursday.
No, Thursday. Thursday morning we'll be back on the street.
Okay.
See you then. Thank you.
See you later.
Bye-bye.